music provided by the Andrew Allen Trio. If you like our theme song, find more at andrewallenmusic.com.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to our inaugural episode of Nerd Jock Blog Radio. We are very excited to be sharing with you our sterling gold. I'm not sure that sterling gold is even a real metal, but that's the way we describe our voices here at Nerd Jock Blog Radio, as sterling gold.
That's
Thank you
right.
so much for tuning in. You just heard the other co-host, who I'll introduce in a moment. My name is Dan Burkett. You know me as the Tanya Harding fanboy, and I'm excited to be with you on the interweb tubes. I'm joined here by...
This is Adam Burkett at Nerd Jock Block. I'm also known as Bones.
He's also known as Bones, folks. You heard it here first. So, thank you again for tuning in, Adam. Thank you for hosting. So, what have you got on deck for us for this inaugural launching of Nerd Jock Blog Radio?
All right. Well, one of my blog posts that I have written about is Adrian Peterson and my man-boy love for him. This goes back to like our second season of our fantasy football league and just
Okay,
fantasy
I'm
football
gonna
in
have to
general.
stop you. I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Who is Adrian Peterson?
Adrian Peterson is the running back of our generation. He took the torch was passed from LaDainian Tomlinson.
Where did
Okay,
he go to college?
Oklahoma.
How tall is he?
I'm not really sure, like 6'3",
How old is he?
33 years old.
Okay, now I have my essential. Ooh, Larry Bird age, the golden year.
Yes.
So that's why Adam's with us. He's got an encyclopedic knowledge of sports. Sorry to cut you off there, but you have man-boy love for Adrian Peterson. Who is he playing for nowadays?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into. I was building up. So he had a great career with the Minnesota Vikings. His rookie year, he set the single-game rushing record against the Chicago Bears, which is awesome. He just demolished Urlacher over and over and over again.
Who hasn't demolished Urlacher?
He was also, after he blew out his knee, 2 years later, he was 8 yards away from setting the single season rushing record. So he's awesome. He's like the Michael Jordan of running backs.
Sounds like he's 8 yards away from being awesome, actually.
Yeah. He played last year for the New Orleans Saints, and it didn't work out, and he got traded to the Cardinals. Had a couple decent games there.
Do you think his trouble with the Saints were due to him eating too many beignets?
Possibly.
I foresee that being my trouble should I ever move to New Orleans. Too many beignets. But then he got traded to the Cardinals, you said?
Yeah, and then he got hurt towards the end. So he had a couple decent games. The Cardinals last year, their star running back was out. But the big story is he hadn't been signed. He's old. Running backs after 30 usually don't have success. So this week, Monday, he was signed by the Washington Redskins, who they lost their future running back. Darius Geis is out for the year, and their rookie they drafted last year, P. Ryan, he's out for some time. So it looks like Adrian Peterson might be a workhorse running back again at 33 with the Redskins, and I believe Alex Smith is now the quarterback. So there's a potential that he's going to have another good year. He'll go out on his own terms instead of being forced out.
I'm worried about his knee. What's the status of his knee these days?
He's pretty healthy. Last year, what got him was just, he's old and he's taking lots of collisions. He had a neck injury. So the concern is him leading with the head. So it'll be interesting to see. But he still looks amazing. He looks like a Greek god. So hopefully he still has some bursting and still have the quickness to get to the hole.
See, my thing with Adrian Peterson has always been that he's come across to me as extremely soft, can't take a hit. It's one thing to be fast and be able to carry a ball. Anybody can be fast and carry a ball. But the thing about football is you have people who are trying to hit you and knock you down. And if you're little Miss Prissy Peterson and you can't take a hit,
Well,
I don't know.
Peterson runs people over. I don't know what you're talking about. This guy's a beast.
He
Anyway,
runs people over until he can't.
yes. Well, this year we'll see if he can continue to still run people over at 33 years old with 11 years of pro football experience.
It'll be something to watch. It'll certainly be something to watch. Will he stand or kneel for the anthem?
I'm pretty sure he'll stand. I don't really want to talk about that. I ignore that. I don't even watch pregame, and I turn it on right at the kickoff because the paper or Twitter will tell you exactly when the kickoffs are for the game. So that's when I flip over.
Well, the vast majority of people who have an opinion on that really are not, in my view, are not even your standard NFL fan to begin with. I mean, who cares, honestly? It's just something sexy to talk about in the media because veterans get riled up and people get riled up. But I agree, it's kind of a non-issue. But okay, so Redskins of Washington, Adrian Peterson, something to look out here, folks. You heard it here on Nerd Jock Blog Radio. Anything else you want to say about Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, I was just happy to see he was able to find a job, and he's always fun to watch. So hopefully he still has a couple good, like, wow, I can't believe he just did that games.
More than we can say for Rashad Jennings, am I right?
Yes.
But Rashad Jennings has a mirror ball trophy. I don't think Adrian Peterson can say the same.
No, I don't think so either.
And that's what it's all about, folks. Having a short run in the NFL so you can get onto Dancing with the Stars and get a mirror ball trophy. That's really why they're all doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what Hall of Famers Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice have done.
Exactly. It's all about getting your dance lessons paid for. That's what the NFL is good for.
Okay. Transitioning. Have you heard of Tinder?
No.
You haven't heard of Tinder?
As in the little wood bits I used to start fires.
No, as in the
Spoiler alert, we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning.
as in the dating app / hookup app.
What is a hookup? Pray tell.
What when you do it?
A hookup is when you do it. We're dropping some college education on you folks. So there's apparently this app that will help you do it. Okay, I'm familiar. Go on.
Okay, have you heard the story? Well, this girl has gone viral. She had just been going crazy. She says it's a study of gender and equality, but it was really just she's a model. She has 3,000 followers on Instagram, and she was seeking attention. So she was stringing several guys along. Like she would say, I'm really busy at work with them right now. Then now's not a good time to start anything. I'll let you know. I'll be done in about a week or so. So a week to 2 weeks roll by, and then all of a sudden, like these guys thought they were getting ghosted, and this chick was like, "Hey, meet me here. There's a concert." Blah blah blah. Well, this guy goes there. Well, actually, there's 100 guys, but this guy goes there, and it's nothing but dudes and a stage and a DJ, and then this girl comes out with two like beefy bodyguards, and then says, I bet you guys are wondering why you are all here. And then she goes into this Hunger Games like speech where they have to compete to win a date with her. So there are a handful of guys left, but there was an overwhelming majority that stayed and played the game. My question to you is, what do you think about this girl, and what would you do in a situation like that?
So it sounds like to me that this is a pilot for a competitor for The Bachelor, with an added brawl element. If I were in that situation, first off, I wouldn't be in that situation for several reasons. But if I were in that situation and I showed up and I saw a swarm of dudes at this place I was supposed to be meeting somebody, I would turn my happy ass around and leave immediately. Or I would, you know what? No, that's not. Let's be real. That's not how I'm playing this. I am I see an opportunity to make 99 friends. I go in, I start mixing, I start networking, start handing out my business cards, start getting contacts because, I think that's a fraternity for life. The 100 Tinder guys.
Yeah, what I think I would have, there's two normal reactions to this. One, say, what the F, turn around and leave and pretend like that never happened. The other thing to do is everybody kind of just like flips her off and they hang out, have a nice bro out, and just pretend like she's not even there.
Yeah, get a
Those are the
can.
only two options. Staying and trying to win, like this girl's obviously cooking up bananas and don't want to hang out with her. Plus, like the way she just played you like that, no, that's a huge turnoff. And she's only like an 8 out of 10. I've seen pictures of her. When I first heard this story, it was from a different podcast and a voicemail, and then it went viral. And there's pictures of her. Like she's pretty attractive, but she's not like compete for
Well, if you're a
a
quote
date
unquote
type.
if you're a quote unquote model and you only have 3,000 Instagram followers, you're not a very good model. So it sounds like she's just a typical 20 something looking for attention. This really illustrates why the internet and social media has completely destroyed our society. And yeah, no, I'm not about that. I mean, it's a fun story. It would be a fun thing. I heard about it. They talked about it on Good Morning America, and it's it, yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, they interviewed a couple of the guys, and the guys were just like, "Yeah, we were confused. It was really dumb. Like, I don't think it turned out the way that she wanted it to turn out." Um, but speaking of Good Morning America, just a quick aside: the most fantastic Chiron, which is what like when your name appears on screen and your title appears on screen. There was some woman and her daughter in a northern suburb of Chicago. The daughter was 8 years old, walking the family dog by herself, and it was like a small dog. It wasn't like a big dog or anything. And someone called child services on the family for letting the 8-year-old daughter walk the dog by herself. And so the Chiron, they were interviewing them on Good Morning America, and the Chiron on the 8-year-old girl was girl who walked dog alone, which I think is just, if you're writing Chirons for ABC, I think that's got to be the highlight of your career. That's what you got to call somebody,
That
girl who walked dog alone.
that's like a title of a poem
Yeah,
by
just
some
weird.
feminist.
Yeah, it's
What the heck is that? That's crazy. People are crazy. By the way, just to get back to the wrap up the Tinder story, I don't think we mentioned it's in Manhattan. There's
right.
lots of weird stuff that happens there, but that is just like over the top. Like what the hell?
Well, yeah, I mean, Manhattan getting 100 guys together, like you can pretty much just get on a megaphone and have the same effect. You don't. She's not very savvy. She didn't need to go through Tinder, and it took her weeks to do that. Like that could have been a couple of hours. So I don't think this woman is very business savvy. I don't think she
Yeah,
has.
she could have sold tickets.
There, I don't. She. I mean, we're talking about her. Thankfully, I'm glad I don't know her name because I don't want to know her name. Uh, but yeah, it's a new use for Tinder.
Yeah,
Getting
if she can rile up that many people, she should be able to make some money off of that. Like just getting people to show up for something. Like she should be able to be making that into like where's her entrepreneurial spirit?
I don't know. She needs to sell T-shirts or something. But that's not what she's about. She's about people telling her that she looks cute, and I'm sure her self-esteem is through the roof right now.
I think it peaked, it got really high, and then once it went viral, it like immediately spiraled down out of control because it's not what she wanted to do.
Pretty much how that goes. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so that is the story of 100 Tinders.
Yeah, that is
And
Talking Tinder with Dan and Adam.
speaking of talking Tinder, there's Tinder on the fire. Tinder on the fire. Timber on the fire. I'm an idiot. There's timber on the fire over in Cleveland, Ohio. Adam, what am I talking about?
Woof woof, dog pound, hard knocks.
Woof woof, dog pound, hard knocks. Speaking of woof woof dog pound, I was wearing a shirt the other day that said sycamores, and somebody from I think Sri Lanka, either Sri Lanka or India, asked me what the sycamores were. They go, "Is that a tree?" And I said yes. And they were watching some show where they kept on talking about sycamores, and they had no idea what they were talking about until they saw it on my shirt. So anyway, that was related only tangentially because of mascots. But woof woof, dog pound, Cleveland is Believeland. They are on HBO, which I feel personally attacked about. I really the show Hard Knocks. How long has this show happened? Is this the second year, third year?
No, man, it's been like 15 years or something like
It's
that.
been 15 years.
It started on like it was like an NFL films, and then HBO took it over and made a big deal about it. It peaked when Rex Ryan and the New York Jets were on it because he said "fuck" so much. Uh, that this season is featuring the winless Cleveland Browns, and it is hilarious. There's so many
Winless
things going on.
by design. Winless by design. Here's what people don't understand about Cleveland. Believeland is so incredible that if they also had a football team that could win games, it just wouldn't be fair. So it's kind of like a hipster, we're too cool to win games. We don't want to compete in the NFL, but we're going to have our football team anyway.
That's a nice spin zone you got there.
It's
What happened really with the Cleveland Browns is Art Modell, the owner, took them and moved them to Baltimore. So the Browns are still awesome. They're just the Baltimore Ravens. This 1999 Browns is awful. They've had one playoff appearance and more starting quarterbacks than they've had actual seasons. So it's
yeah,
something.
but let's look at the great starting quarterbacks that they've had, and you'll understand my point. Johnny Manziel. You can't find anything negative to say about Johnny if you tried. There's the guy from there's the guy from Notre Dame.
False.
There's the guy from Notre Dame.
Brady Quinn. He's actually from
Brady
Dublin,
Quinn.
Ohio.
See, we have Brady Quinn and Johnny Manziel. If getting Brady Quinn and Johnny Manziel to Cleveland isn't reason enough for the Browns, I can't help you.
The Browns are like, they're always looking for something better. They like hot and trendy. Like Brady Quinn threw a nice tight spiral. He was a big superstar at Notre Dame. And then Johnny Manziel, he had his Money Manziel thing, like really flashy. And then they even went and got RG3 on his last legs to try to win. Actually, that's the funny thing is Robert Griffin III actually won a game. He's the last starting quarterback to win a game for the Cleveland Browns is Robert Griffin.
And that's why he didn't last at the Browns.
Well, because he won a game.
Exactly.
Yeah, if they wanted to continue this slide into mediocrity, they should just go with the fourth string quarterback who can't even get into the game, and his girlfriend is over on the sidelines. Which, by the way, a fourth string quarterback probably practice squad at best for his professional playing career.
This is
he
why
has a smoke show of a girlfriend. It is unreal.
He's a smoke show of a man, so it's not really that hard to believe. But this is why I hate the show Hard Knocks. Why do I know the name of the Browns' fourth string quarterback when I can't tell you the name of the Browns' first, second, or third string quarterback?
Well, it's the same way. It's reality TV. It's like, why do you know who Kourtney Kardashian and Kylie Jenner are?
Put them side by side. I can't tell you which is which. I really can't. I have not kept up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, well, but it's kind of, you don't even have to keep up with them. They're everywhere. No matter where you look, and if you're on the internet, they're everywhere. You turn the corner, there's another butt, or there's another face.
What's the target audience? I understand why the Kardashians have a following, kind of, because I understand the type of woman and type of man that appeals to. I don't understand what type of audience the fourth string Browns quarterback appeals to.
Football guys, I love it. Don't you remember going to Colts training camp in Terre Haute, and you just kind of get to know them. So now you have like with the TV show and the cameras, you get to intimately know the backups, and they're trying to find a story to when the guy actually makes the underdog makes the team. It makes for great television because it's real. Like the NFL and professional sports are reality TV, and this is reality TV on top of reality TV. So you can build storylines, and it's interesting. It's a personal interest story. So you got this Rogan guy who, this is he's probably not going to be playing football anymore. He's going to go work for Edward Jones or start a hedge fund, something like that.
You know what makes for great TV? A gay lawyer living with his straight female interior design roommate and their zany scripted antics. That makes for great TV. I don't need to see some random guy living okay.
I love Broby. Broby is the best. His only role on the team is to run the scout team and the third stringers to try to find a receiver and to put snacks into the RV. He gets snacks for the other quarterbacks. That's his role.
Everyone you meet,
he is a morale booster. He's
everyone. Great. Everyone you meet in Cleveland is a morale booster. Everyone you meet in Cleveland is putting snacks in the RV. There's this huge media conspiracy to hold Cleveland down, but everybody in Cleveland is Brogan. Their
lake has literally caught fire.
It's their river that has caught fire, and every river has caught fire. It's not exclusive to Cleveland. The only reason the Cuyahoga River fire is famous is because it was reported on in the same issue of Time magazine as the moon landing. So it went viral back in 1969.
So when we went lunar, baby.
Not 1970, but a year sooner. And there's now the Burning River Fest, which is a conservation effort where you go drink on Whiskey Island and everything is very clean, very beautiful now. Don't come for me on my Cleveland. It is literally Nirvana, not the band.
I just watched episode 2 and 3 of Hard Knocks last night. Episode 2, this rookie receiver from Florida with a checkered past that they don't really go that much into, but anyways, he's got a problem. He has bad people around him. He got his car from Florida. He got pulled over. It starts off with the dash cam footage, and so his car was unlicensed. So they got him on that, and then there was a used roach, which that's marijuana. So, he gets a citation, and he hides it from the team, and then Hugh Jackson, who is like the worst coach ever, he's 1-32. He decides for punishment in the second preseason game that he is going to play every offensive snap. Now, they had just traded Corey Coleman, so Antonio Callaway is running with the starters and getting every snap, which isn't punishment because he's trying to make a team and have a valuable role. If you get the opportunity to just run route after route after route in game action, and there's a starting job on the line, like that's a reward, not a punishment. If you're going to punish him, you sit him out.
No. You don't come. You
put him in the doghouse. It's the dog pound. You should put him in the doghouse. You should make a doghouse, and he stays in it.
You don't come to Cleveland to play football. You come to Cleveland to sit the side. If you want to make moves with the football, if you want to run routes, if you want to score, if you want to get points, if you want to improve your stats, Cleveland is not the team for you. You don't come to Cleveland to play football. You come to Cleveland to believe. And that is the beauty of the Cleveland Browns.
That explains why they're the laughingstock of the league.
Some say laughingstock. Some say kitschy little thing to do when you've run out of things to do, which will never happen if you're ever in Cleveland. You never have to resort to the Browns. That's the other beautiful thing about being in Cleveland. But folks, that is all the time we have for our first episode of Nerd Jock Blog Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to pet the donkey on the way out. And I've been Dan Burkett. Follow me on Twitter at Daniel Burkett, DanielBurkett. And follow us on our blog, Nerd Jock Blog. Read about Tanya Harding. Read about Star Wars video games. Adam, your final word.
Yeah, so referring to Nerd Jock blog, check out my two segments. My two blog themes are Must Watch, which is usually an athlete that is worth watching, and Indie Corner, where I talk about indie video games. Indie Quickie. I did a quickie about Windjammers 2 coming to the Switch and its hand-drawn art style. I'm really into that. The other thing, before we wrap up, I recently acquired a Sega Saturn, and it powers on, but I need to replace the laser disc, and I have some games. So what I've decided to do is I might fix the Sega Saturn, but the extra stuff that I have, I'm going to sell that and buy Shenmue 1 and 2 HD off of Steam because it's only $30, and I think I can make $30 worth of sales on the Sega Saturn crap I have. And I want to just take that $30 and move it along the line to Shenmue because I've watched so many hype videos about Shenmue that I have talked myself into acquiring that game at some point in the future.
And we are just at the time of recording this episode, we have just 129 days until the Fiesta Bowl. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to experiencing the Fiesta Bowl with you all. I'm Dan Burkett. He's Adam Burkett. Enjoy your day.